Question of the day. What is your favorite of these new slate of games that has been coming to Walmart, Target, and most mass market stores, right? There's been a huge slate lately, and it's been really good quality choices to choose from Pan Am, the Prospero Hall games, Funko games, and all those games that have been fantastic. What's your favorite of those been? Because I was originally going to do just the sequel, Blockbuster Returns, today, until I realized that I'd never done a review of the original game completely. It was in my top 100, so that gives you a hint. But for personal reasons, but it gives you a hint of where it's going to be, how I'm going to rank this. So we're going to do a review today of Blockbuster and Blockbuster Returns, and if you should get this game right now. First of all, let me just say, as someone who grew up going to Blockbuster, how much I love this packaging. It's an actual old school VHS hard tape, and then there's the soft one that you would slide out and play. So I love how this game looks. But essentially, this is just going to come with a board and 4 new genres. It doesn't come with the buzzer and the math that the original comes with. So I would say get this, but don't get it don't get it as the replacement because it's a smaller, shorter version of the full game. Get both is what I would recommend if you're going to play them. So let's take a look at how they both play right now. So this is the game itself set up right now. You get this awesome Blockbuster parking lot with the sign. There's the buzzer right here. You hit that. This is a generic buzzer. It's licensed and labeled Blockbuster, but it's generic. There's nothing about this that says Blockbuster, so you can use the app. In fact, if you get the second edition or the sequel, it doesn't come with this, so you would just use the buzzer from Big Potato Games. But what I like about this is you don't know how long. You can count in your head, but the timer with the phone, you have an actual show up. So the game is played in 2 phases. First is movies, the head-to-head part. You'll take one of these head-to-head cards and you'll flip it face up. So we will start here, and you'll go movies where things get stolen. Boom. Home Alone 2. And the same rules apply. You can't do sequels and things like that. You can't do anything else that's derivative of that movie. So like you couldn't say Home Alone 2. You couldn't even say, as far as I'm thinking in the rules. And again, this really comes down to your group and house rules. You couldn't do even remakes. You couldn't do like good Lord, my mind's not Freaky Friday 2. I cannot believe that was my remake choice, but. Movies where something gets stolen. Anyway, you go back and forth. Movies with aliens, so Star Wars, and they would say Alien, and you would say, The Arrival, and you would say blah, 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 Men in Black, and you would just go back and forth until someone goes, I don't know, timer runs out on them. They lose that round, you win that round, which means you get priority in the next round, which is this part, which is really fun. So you have one word, quote it, and act it. So you take 6 of these cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. I think that's 6. You look at them, and then you choose for you, first of all, which 3 you're going to keep, and then you choose which 3 they get. So you know what their movies are. They don't know what your movies are. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, quote it, act it, or one word. I would keep this one, and I would put it and act it out, and I would do the big chainsaw thing over the head, like, Parasite, I would give that to them because I never saw it because it seemed a little bit overrated to me. Let's see, Small Soldiers. Oh gosh, what was if you knew the race of the toys, you could do that. I can't think of their names right now, so I'm going to give that to them. Let's see, Charlie's Angels. If you're going to switch it out, you can do act it and do the little pose with that one, so you can maybe change your mind and say Forrest Gump. There we go. I would do Shrimp or something like that. Life is like a box of chocolates. There we go with the quote it. Then let's see, The Usual Suspects. I would maybe say Kaiser or Soze or something like that here. Jaws, I would give that to them if I wanted to keep it. I would say we're going to need a bigger boat or something like that. So you get those, you get them passed out, you flip them face down, obviously where your team can't see it, and then you hold down the timer. It gives you a little bit longer. You move through these, and once you finish your 3, you would then have the ability to move over and steal theirs of what you have time to do. So that can happen pretty quick. So if I say Life's Like a Box of Chocolates, you would go boom, Forrest Gump, Kaiser, or Soze. Maybe you'd have to pick. You couldn't say both because that would be 2 words. And then do the act out. And if I get it in time, I can move over here and go, okay, we're gonna need a bigger boat. Blah blah blah. You know, I can look and see where they put theirs really quick and then act them out. It's great, but that is how you play the game. It's very simple rules. The idea is to collect a certain number of these genre cards. I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With the new one, there's 12. If you play to 12, it stretches a little bit long, so figure out that rule yourself, how you want to tweak it to where you keep the components and stuff at the first game and get the new genres of the other game, which are things like remakes and heartwarmers, not for kids, and From Another World. Keep those, but keep the game at 8 so you can take some out if you needed to, but whatever. The point is, have fun. So that's it. If you're a movie buff, you really are going to want to check this out. I mean, think about it. The idea is so much fun, just of sitting there, and the head-to-head part's amazing, right? Like my friend Andy, you've seen him on our X-Wing 2.0 video. He and I used to play this all the time in high school. We just would sit down and somebody would name a topic and we would go back and forth naming movies with that actor or that theme or whatever until we stopped, until we couldn't do it, right? And we would go back and forth, back and forth. So we've been training for this our whole life. So the head-to-head becomes pretty intense when you're playing against us, which is why one time we ended up playing just he and I versus the entire room, and we won. So, you know, not bragging, but I'm just saying that we've been practicing this for a long time. And then when it comes to guessing the movies and guessing the charades and all that sort of stuff, I really love that aspect. Right now, the art is funny because it's the parking lot. You get the old Blockbuster sign. I remember going to Blockbuster after school and, you know, renting movies, renting games, and all that sort of stuff on the way home, and it was just so much, it was just great. You looked forward to going to Blockbuster and stuff. So this is a soft spot for me, obviously. Some people don't have a clue what this is like, but I loved it. And so seeing the art, imagery, and all that sort of stuff was great. The cards are kind of blank, and I think that's because of licensing. I don't know why, but they're just basic font on those movie tiles, so I'm not really sure what that's all about. But again, the art is cool because of the buzzer and the sign alone. But, you know, if you get the returns, you don't get that. So there's a knock there. I will just go ahead and say this now in the review. Get both. There's no reason not to own both because you get the components with the first one and then you get the new movies and cards with the second one. Yes, you can play the shorter version by collecting only 4 genres if you want to, but there's really no need to do that. It can go long though, so I would still recommend cutting the movie genres down to whatever the original game was, but include them in. So ideally either take some genres out or play for all of them and just cut down the amount you have to win. But again, this isn't a game that you're trying to win and putting on your win board of, yes, I got another win. It's very much silly, good fun. So there's that. That's how it looks. Now, as far as how it plays, I like the fact that there's 3 different variations of that second round. Yes, there's the head-to-head, which is so intense, and that timer just makes it so hard when you're like, I don't know a movie with an S, and as soon as it goes, you're like, oh, yeah, Star Wars, Space Jam. You get a ton of them come to your mind. The second part, though, with the charades, the one word, and the tagline, that to me is really fun because you have to name the one word to try to get people to get your movie. So, you know, chocolates, you might be trying to get Forrest Gump, or shrimp, or something like that. You know, you might say dinosaurs for Jurassic Park, or you know, whatever it is, and just trying to get that one word title. And then for the charades part, you have to act it out. I have been reminded of many of the zany antics that I have done over the past couple of years to do this that I'd forgotten about, that left an unfortunately indelible mark in people's minds. But they got the clue, so which was awesome because I did one that I was reminded of and people thought was whatever it was, but and then I got that very same clue that night, so I immediately ran and did the same thing, and it was pretty funny. But the charade part's nice. You don't have to do that if you don't want to do that. You could you can act it out with your hands or whatever right there at the table. It's not hard. And then the one word title and the tagline is fun. Here's the clue. Here's the real kicker though. People will say, well, I don't know a lot of movies, so I don't want to get this game. The thing is, you don't have to know the movie. You don't have to watch the movie. You just have to know about movies to get this. I've never seen Atomic Blonde, but if you say, like, Charlize Theron kicks tail, I'd be like, okay, I know what movie that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not so much about seeing the movie as it is knowing about movies and stuff. So all that to say, I really enjoy this. This is a fun filler party game. It gets the room just howling with laughter and enjoyment as you watch your friends try to do these charades. And because the timer's there, it really speeds up and makes it where you don't have that moment of, oh, how am I going to do this? You really have to, you're forced to think, and it really speeds things up and gets the game moving. So love this game. Can't say enough good things about Blockbuster. Get it, you'll enjoy it, I promise you. If you don't like movies, then obviously skip it. If you like movies and you're looking for a party game to really get people involved who maybe are still on the edge of like, I don't know how to get into these game groups and stuff like that, this is an excellent one to really get the room talking to each other and enjoying. It's so much fun. So I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Brian. Until next time, we'll see you.